Good morning, everyone. I wish you a very good Monday morning after a long holiday weekend. I hope you were able to spend some good quality time with family and friends, and and be able to recognize all the many ways in which we are blessed and express our gratitude. This morning, on November 29th, I want to share a reflection with you. This is a little more somber reflection, but I think it's an important one. Um, you'll see behind me here, this direction, I have my Equal Justice Initiative calendar, and each day on this EJI calendar, Equal Justice Initiative, founded by Brian Stevenson, there is a piece of history about race relations in the United States, racial injustice, criminal justice issues, and today's reminder is a local one, and it's really important. I'm also standing purposefully in front of a painting of an indigenous man painted by a local Indian artist here in Denver. So, what I want to just reflect on briefly is this. I'm going to share with you a portion of the history from the EJI calendar. So, on this date, on November 29th in 1864, American troops murdered more than 200 Cheyenne and Arapaho people who were living peacefully along Sand Creek in eastern Colorado. Just days before the massacre, white officials had assured chiefs of the village that their community would not be harmed. However, on November 29th, hundreds of U.S. soldiers led by Colonel John Chivington surrounded the village. Residents responded by waving white flags and pleading for mercy. One of the chiefs even raised the American flag in an attempt to demonstrate that he, too, was American. Ignoring these symbols of surrender and peace, the white troops opened fire with carbines and cannons, slaughtering more than 150 Native American people. Most of the victims of the massacre were women, children, the elderly, and those who were sick. After the massacre, the troops burned the village, mutilated the bodies of the deceased, and removed body parts to keep as trophies. Some scalps of the dead became props in plays that the troops later performed to celebrate, as one soldier boasted, almost an annihilation of the entire tribe. So, of course, this is very disturbing and probably seems like an odd way for me to start a week in reflection. But I think it's important that we do remember our history as people, as Coloradans, and those here on that land of those Cheyenne and Arapaho people. Um, I also am remembering a man named Captain, I believe it was Captain Silas Sewell, who was there, refused to open fire, and later spoke about the massacre. As a result of that, he was actually murdered on the streets of Denver, Colorado. So I think we have to think about where are we feeling called to speak up about injustice in our world, like Silas Sewell did in those days surrounding the Sand Creek Massacre. Where are we being called today, this week? We may not have an answer for that today, but I want you to keep your eyes, your ears, and your hearts open this week to see where is God calling you forward? It might be forward in some action. It might be forward in speaking up in some way about some injustice that you've seen or experienced in this world. But I think as Christians, we are called to action. And so on this day, we're also called to memory and to remember. That's a very significant part of our Christian tradition, and we do it every time we gather around the communion table. So on this day, I encourage you to remember I'll put in the chat the link to the EJI Equal Justice Initiative summary on the Sand Creek Massacre. But I encourage you to look for other sources, maybe even just Google Silas Sewell and see what you can learn about Silas. But do some learning today about our history, and then think about where God may be calling you to some type of personal action in your life. So, again, I wish you a very good Monday. I also just want to acknowledge that over the weekend, a lot has been said about this new coronavirus variant, the Omicron variant. And I know some of you are feeling anxious about that, concerned about that, not sure what to think about that. And I'm in the same boat with you. But as I've said before, and will continue to remind us, we are in this together. And if we support each other, we will make it through. So continue to love on yourselves, love on each other, be kind and patient and gentle with yourselves and with each other. And I wish you blessings this week. Bye bye.